Retail is now entering an exciting new phase of innovation with a fresh eye toward the future. To win, retailers and brands are embracing leading-edge technology. From the mass adoption of emerging technologies and capabilities, to the exploration of entirely new technologies, changing how consumers discover, shop, and buy. The rules of retail are changing quickly. Consumers are buyers and creators. Products are physical and digital. Retailers are media companies, technology leaders, supply chain service innovators, providers, brands, policy drivers, environmental stewards, diversity champions. The game of retail is evolving faster than ever. And Shoptalk will help you level up. The time is now. This is retail's big moment. This is Shoptalk.
And now, please welcome Shoptalk's General Manager, Rebecca Sosner, and Senior Vice President of Content, Christina Gustafson.
Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house.
Welcome. Christina and I knew we wanted to kick this show off with some Flo Rida, but I think I need to make one correction to those lyrics. This is your house, Shop Talk. We've been calling this Retail's Big Reunion, but I know that for many of you, it's actually more like a family reunion. So can I get some noise if you're thrilled to be back here at an in-person event? Me too. On behalf of Hive and the Shop Talk team, I want to welcome all of you to the biggest and the best Shop Talk ever. You know, I've been in the events industry for about a decade, and I can tell you that nothing brings me more pure joy than seeing all of our efforts come together, especially coming out of the pandemic, but seeing all of you here to learn and to connect and to have a great time. Shoptalk's mission has always been to help you, the retail community, to meet and to exceed the needs of your consumers. We do this with the content, community, and connection that you're going to find right here at the industry's greatest ecosystem event. Now, I don't want to steal too much of Christina's thunder, but I want to give you a high-level view of the content that we've curated for you over the next couple of days. You're going to have access to more than 90 sessions and more than 275 speakers. In just the next hour, you'll hear from Kath McClay of Sam's Club, Jui Wong of Olaplex, and actress and entrepreneur Brooke Shields, who will tell you how they are seizing retail's big moment. But we know that content isn't enough. So before I was in events, I was a journalist, and because of that, I developed a love of hearing your stories. I love to hear about your wins, your challenges, and how we can help. A few weeks ago, I was speaking to Elizabeth Pig, the CMO of That's It. Now, Elizabeth had never been to Shop Talk before, and in our conversation, I just had to know what was bringing her here this year. And what she said to me was something that I think will resonate with so many of you. She said, "My reason for going is simple. Through the pandemic, I haven't grown my network at all. And when I started to look at Shop Talk and compared it with all of the people that I wanted to meet, I said, this is great. They're all going to be in one place. And here you are, nearly 10,000 of you from 48 countries and more than 2,000 companies, all in one place. Let's get one more round of applause for this amazing Shop Talk community. But community only happens when you build connections, and connections are Shop Talk's secret sauce. I'm proud to say that over the next few days, we have put together more than 18,000 one-on-one meetings between more than 400 solution providers and executives from more than 1,400 retailers and brands. And this program is something that people come back for year after year. Charlie Cole, the CEO of FTD, has brought more than 20 executives from his team again this year. You know, not too long ago, I was speaking to James Glover, the CEO of Coherent Path, and he told me he loves the one-on-one meeting program because his company has such great stories to tell about how their platform uses machine learning and AI to supercharge email performance. And they find that the one-on-one meeting format is the best way to tell that story. As a matter of fact, they forged a first solid connection with executives at The Gap through Shoptalk's hosted program, and The Gap went on to become one of their marquee clients. I believe those are the kinds of connections that you can only make at Shoptalk. But as we've learned through the pandemic, connections once a year still aren't enough. Think about this. People haven't been meeting in person for more than 2 years, since just about the time that Shoptalk 2020 almost happened. Let me take you back to that time. It was March of 2020, and Shoptalk's leadership had come to the obvious conclusion that they had to cancel the event for the safety of the community. You know, I say obvious now, it's obvious to us, but back then, they had no idea what was to come. But the innovation machine that is Shoptalk didn't rest. They didn't just ride things out. Before long, the team created a new and highly successful business model, the retail meetups. The first meetup was an entirely different kind of online event. Instead of pre-recorded presentations or interviews, the entire event was based on matchmaking and setting up tens of thousands of one-on-one video meetings and roundtable conversations. Shoptalk found an online way to continue to connect the right people at the right time until we could be back together here. So as we look into what is hopefully a post-pandemic world, Hive's vision is to continue to bring this community together to make connections year-round. You know, I know that around here, the term omnichannel is used a lot, maybe overused, but an omnichannel strategy is really the heart of our vision going forward as well. That's why Shoptalk Meetup for Women, Shoptalk Fall Meetup, and Grocery Shop Spring Meetup will remain a powerful and permanent part of the Shoptalk playbook going forward, joining our highly successful in-person events as regular touch points to bring the Shoptalk community together year-round. So again, we are thrilled to have you here in person. We are so happy to help you grow your network and your business year-round through robust community, through meaningful connections, and through the best content in the industry. So before I turn it over to Christina, I just have one request. If you see me around the show, please say hello, tell me your story. I would love to meet you in person. It's been a very long time since I've met so many people in person. Christina?
Great. Thanks, Rebecca. Well, I agree we're at a really exciting turning point in retail because the conversations can shift from being reactive to proactive in terms of how we think about innovation. That's why we couldn't be more excited to have you all back here at Shoptalk in person, where the discussions are going to be laser focused on the latest innovations in retail and e-commerce. Over the next 4 days, our content will cover the adoption and maturation of some of the technologies and business models that were just emerging the last time we got together. Things like robotics, automated checkout, augmented reality. But it's also going to cover topics that weren't on anybody's minds 3 years ago. Things like NFTs and the metaverse. We're especially proud of how we're going to be covering the metaverse this year because we wanted to make sure that we went beyond the headlines in order to provide you guys with some real strategic analysis of how to succeed in this exciting new space. Our coverage is going to kick off tomorrow in this very room with the premiere of Shoptalk's first mini documentary. We traveled all around the country talking to analysts, retailers, and other experts on how brands and retailers can get started in this space. We're going to follow up the premiere with a one-to-one fireside chat with one of the stars of the show, PacSun President Brianne Olson. If you guys aren't familiar with PacSun and what they've been doing in this space, they were really an early mover, having launched their first experience with Roblox back in June 2021. If you're keeping score, that was 5 months before Facebook changed its name to Meta, and the whole conversation around the metaverse really took off. Also, if you feel like you need to take a step back and just get a crash course in all things metaverse, I highly recommend you attend our workshop on understanding the technologies, opportunities, and challenges on Tuesday afternoon. If it's your first time joining us at Shoptalk, I hope that you will quickly notice it isn't just with the metaverse that we take an editorial approach to our agenda. We really view our agenda as a holistic narrative about everything that is happening in retail and e-commerce today, as well as where the industry is headed. Each and every topic and speaker is curated by our content team, and since there's no pay to play, you can trust it. You're going to be hearing from over 275 of the industry's biggest disruptors who are driving change not only within their organizations, but across the entire industry. They include the CEOs of innovative startups like Warby Parker and ThredUp, all the way to industry titans like Signet and Revlon. An overwhelming 2/3 of our speakers are C-level and higher, giving you a really unique perspective into how the industry's most senior leaders see retail evolving. Finally, a core part of our mission at Shoptalk is to ensure we're featuring diverse voices across the industry. So I'm also thrilled to share that this year, 51% of our speakers are women, and 33% represent diverse groups. Great. Well, we couldn't be more excited to have you learn from this esteemed group of experts. So let's get things started right now with the CEO of Sam's Club. I hope you enjoy the show.